Is living in Myrtle Beach dangerous? Hi, my name is Lance McMillan, and I am here to let you know everything you need to know about the Myrtle Beach real estate market and hopefully entertain you in the process. I'm a Navy vet and licensed realtor with Mango Homes powered by Keller Williams Myrtle Beach, and today we're going to be talking about some things that might unsettle some people about living in Myrtle Beach. That way you might be a little more at ease about some things that might trouble you. First up, hurricanes. Living in Myrtle Beach, you can see the occasional hurricane from June to November-ish. Hurricanes are nature's way of cooling off all that hot water in the ocean when it's really sunny out. Folks in the southern hemisphere get the same treatment. Down there they get typhoon season, and it runs from December to May, which is their summer and fall, which is so weird.
I'm backwards.
So how bad can hurricane season be in Myrtle Beach? Not as bad as you think, actually. Comparing state to state, since 1851, North Carolina, Texas, and Louisiana have seen twice as many direct hits as South Carolina, and Florida has seen 4 times as many hits as South Carolina. As far as major storms, which are Category 4 and 5 hurricanes, South Carolina has only seen 5 direct hits since 1851, the last one being Hurricane Hugo in 1989. And that's all of South Carolina. What about just Myrtle Beach? Turns out Myrtle Beach gets off easy as far as direct hits go. When you look at the map, Myrtle Beach kind of sits back in a 60-mile-long cul-de-sac. Combine this with the way the Atlantic current runs, and while we can and do get sideswiped by the occasional hurricane, the storm itself is usually pretty forgiving. But while the hurricanes usually give us a little bit of a pass, the flooding from the hurricanes does not. The verdict? Keep an emergency kit in the house. Always keep canned food and some bottled water. And remember, the mountains are only a few hours away if you need to duck out. One of the major draws for living in Myrtle Beach is the water. And there's a lot of water to choose from. Between the Wachesaw River, the Intercoastal Waterway, and a dozen different beaches and state parks, you have your pick as to where you can go enjoy the water. But that can come with a price. Myrtle Beach is downstream of a number of major rivers, and when a hurricane hits Florida and runs north, or when it augers into North Carolina like they sometimes do, the water runs downhill and our rivers can and do flood. Depending on how the storm hits, the flooding can be worse inland than it is at the beach. Now, a lot of people ask about flood zones and they're worried about buying a home in a flood zone. It's okay though. I have the mother of all flood map playlists on YouTube. It's specifically about Myrtle Beach, and it lets you know every conceivable thing that you need to know about flooding and flood maps and flood insurance. The link to the playlist can be found in the description of the video below. Or if you have any questions, you can just write them in the comments and I'll answer you back right there. The verdict? Know your flood zone and have flood insurance if you need it. Next up, alligators. Living in Myrtle Beach means living in alligator country, although it's not quite as alligatory as Florida. Per Google, Florida has 1.5 million alligators. South Carolina only has 100,000. Thank God. The state newspaper researched it, and we've only had 23 alligator attacks since the year 1915. I think it would be more than that, right? Alligators will attack small mammals, fish, reptiles, even other alligators, but not humans. Why? You're not food. Alligators do not want to eat you, but if they think you're a threat, they will defend themselves. Odds are, unless you go to a park where they actually have alligators that you can see, you probably won't see one in the wild. Turns out they are very shy around people. So avoid tromping around in swamps and wetlands and places where they would hide. You'll be fine. Now let's talk about sharks. The big draw about living in Myrtle Beach is the beach. Millions of visitors, as well as residents, splash around and have fun in the ocean from spring all the way up till around Thanksgiving. The subtropical climate also brings in tons of fish. And where there are fish, there are sharks. You have to watch out for any shark, but as far as the ones that grab headlines for being a little too bitey around people, we have 3. The great white, the tiger shark, and the bull shark. Bull sharks are the ones that are responsible for most bites in the southeast, and they can and do make their way upriver into fresh water sometimes.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Like in Little River a few years ago. So you figure with millions of people in the water and 3 verified man-eaters out there, that we'd have a fair amount of shark attacks, right? Actually, no. The entire state of South Carolina in the past 10 years has seen an average of 4.5 bites per year, and none of those are fatal. We have 4 times less bites than Florida. Again, just like with alligators, you're not food to a shark. Invariably, shark bites happen when sharks confuse you for food, or you're caught between the shark and the food that it's chasing. The best way to avoid danger is simply don't go where the food is. Where is that? Anywhere where anybody is fishing. Myrtle Beach has a number of fishing piers from Georgetown all the way up the Little River. Small fish like to hide underneath the piers in the shade, and fishermen like to throw in bait to catch the small fish. Both of those draw sharks. The verdict? Don't go swimming near the fishing piers and you'll pretty much be all right. Last up, crime. Living in Myrtle Beach, according to some of the more freewheeling parts of Facebook, is fraught with danger because according to them, Myrtle Beach is the crime capital of the South. Let's examine that. First thing that's a little fishy is the demographics. The National Association of Realtors says that our average homeowner is 61 years old and makes $75,000 a year. So I ask you this. What could make you come to the conclusion that Myrtle Beach is the crime capital of the South when the average resident here is an AARP member driving a Buick? The answer to that quote can be found in a quote by Benjamin Disraeli and popularized by Mark Twain. There are 3 kinds of lies: lies, damn lies, and statistics. Let me explain. The population of the entire Myrtle Beach metro area right now is a little over 400,000 people, and those people skew older and more settled than the national average. Now, out of those 400,000 people, you'll see X number of them brought in for reckless driving in a year. You'll see X amount of them brought in for public intoxication in a year. That kind of thing. We see far more than you would expect across the board. Why? Because of tourism. Myrtle Beach sees an extra 17 million people come visit every single year. And that's like having the entire population of New York City come by and see you on the weekend twice. On any given day, our population could be double or triple what it says in the books. So instead of seeing X number of people brought in for reckless driving or X number of people brought in for public intoxication, we see double or triple that number. That's because we have double or triple the number of people than the statistics think we have. And odds are when the police do catch someone double parking or something like that,
Hey, you can't park that animal over there. It's illegal.
it's probably one of those 17 million visitors and not the nice retired couple from Rhode Island that lives down the street. The bottom line is Myrtle Beach does not have a crime problem. We have a statistics problem. Verdict? You can rest easy. Overall, Myrtle Beach is not a dangerous place. Living in Myrtle Beach is a blessing. What do you think? Talk to me. Leave a comment. Thank you for your time. And remember, whether you're buying or selling, go Mango.